This is Personal Injury Court.
Good day, everyone. This is the matter of Baker versus James. Ms. Baker, it's my understanding that you are suing Mr. James for injuries that you sustained while you were working out and he was your trainer. You're asking this court to award you $40,000 for past medicals, $10,000 for future medicals, and $150,000 for pain and suffering for a total award of $200,000. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. James, it's your position today that you pushed her as hard as she needed to be pushed and what she requested you to do. So whatever she's injured, it's her fault.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, let's get into the legal sauce. You're an athlete if you've been working out. How long you been an athlete?
Your Honor, I've been an athlete all my life. In fact, I ended up getting a scholarship for track.
Oh, so you're a real athlete?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, Ms. Baker, why did you hire Mr. James?
As we all know, after college, life happens.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I got married.
Yes, ma'am.
So I picked up some pounds. I was online, and I came across an obstacle course. It kind of motivated me to really start focusing on myself because I let myself go so much. So I hired the defendant here to assist me in making sure that I was ready for that particular event.
So, Mr. James, she found you online.
Yes, sir.
Is
Your Honor.
that where you advertise online?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you get most of your clients or a big portion of your clients online?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
Now, how long have you been a trainer?
I've been a trainer for 10 plus years.
I almost said they had a picture of me, but is that a picture of you?
Yes, Your Honor.
What led you to get into training, Mr. James?
Well, I just like inspiring others. The good feeling that I get from training myself and the results that I get, I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that would like to feel the exact same things that I feel.
Now, as a trainer, what do you do in a training session? What's your job?
My job is to motivate my trainees to just be positive, push past their thresholds, just get them outside of their comfort zone, to know how to be comfortable being uncomfortable, because your body is going to experience things that you may have never experienced before, just to push yourself.
Yes, sir. Now, Miss Baker, what happened?
Well, this was about 3 weeks within the program. And so he has like a task of things to do.
So you and Mr. James had a daily routine?
Correct.
Okay.
He had a daily routine. And one of the exercises was called a squat and toss. There's a ball, the tossing of the ball, it's a weighted ball.
Okay.
Okay, so it's
In
not
the
just
old days, we called that a medicine ball.
Yes, Your Honor.
Correct.
Okay.
A medicine ball. That's
Real
the
old days.
terminology. Correct.
Now, Mr. James, when you do this squat and toss, what muscles are you working on your client?
So, Your Honor, with the squat and toss, you simply squat down, your quads and your hamstrings are activated as well as your glutes, and you have to engage in your core to stabilize yourself. And as you come up to stand up to toss the ball, it engages your shoulders as well as your biceps and your triceps.
So where are you tossing the ball?
You're tossing it in the air right over your head, and as the ball comes down, you catch it and you go back down into the squat position to repeat the exercise.
Now, these are better looking than those leather braided things I grew up with. These are medicine balls here?
Yes,
or,
sir. Yes,
or
Your Honor.
what do you call them?
Medicine balls.
Oh, you do call them medicine balls. Okay, I don't feel that old. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Can you show me that exercise, how you do
Absolutely,
that?
Your Honor. So this is the particular weight that she was using. So you will hold it right in front of you, make sure that you have good posture, and as you squat down, you poke your butt out behind you, cause you to engage your core, and as you come up, you toss it in the air, catch it again, and you repeat the exercise.
And do you do sets of that?
Well, I recommend my clients do 20 reps and you do 4 sets.
Now, I see you've got one 10-pound ball, one 20-pound ball, and a 15-pound ball in your hand.
Yes,
Who
Your Honor.
chooses what weight of ball?
So I go off of the capabilities of the client. If I believe that you're capable enough to go a heavier weight, then we'll go heavier weight. If I feel like that you're not so much prepared for a heavier weight, then we'll go lighter.
So are you talking with your client
Absolutely.
during this process?
Absolutely.
How do you know that the weight's too heavy?
Their posture will be off, their breathing would be off. They can't really focus on how to actually go through the exercises. They would struggle.
But you're watching the client very closely during this exercise.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you remember being watched closely?
That's my point, Your Honor. During this entire exercise, I was explaining to him how tired I was,
Yes,
how
ma'am.
exhausted I was. We had just got finished running sprints.
How did you get hurt?
As I was lifting the medicine ball to throw it, my whole arm, my shoulder was strained.
Okay.
When I tell you, this was the worst pain that I could ever feel. And I have 2 kids. It's worse than having kids. Okay? I felt the burning. I felt the detachment of my arm. I went home and I iced it down. I was like, okay, well, you know, let me see how this, if it maybe can wear off, because like I said, it could just be something small, nothing big, right? So I was at home for about 3 days. And then what ended up happening was I had went to the restroom. And when I went to the restroom, my urine was the color of like a soda pop.
From a shoulder injury?
Like brown.
It was brown?
It was brown.
Your urine was brown?
Brown, Your Honor. It scared the daylights
So what
out of
did
me.
you do?
Well, I ended up going to the emergency room. And when I got to the emergency room, they actually kept me for an entire week. To my understanding, it was kidney damage.
According to your papers, it was a long private school word, rhabdomyalysis.
That's it, Your Honor.
Is that what you remember?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, for your ease and mine, since I was public school educated, we'll call it rhabdo.
Rhabdo.
Okay.
Correct.
All right. Mr. James, do you remember her getting some kind of strain during this exercise?
I remember doing an exercise that she was stating that she needed to take a break, but also my thing with all of my clients, when they come to me, I have them fill out a waiver and I tell them to tell me exactly what's going on with their bodies and to tell me what level of training that they would like for me to give them.
So what did she tell you she wanted you to do?
She wanted me to be hard on her and don't let her give up.
And did you do that, Ms. Baker? Did you tell him that he needs to push you harder than you had before so you could get the best of yourself?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and that's what you did, Mr. James?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
So at the time that Ms. Baker was working out on this day, did you know she had a severe injury?
No, sir. Only thing that I knew is that she wanted me to push her hard, and
Your
she
Honor,
said...
Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
As he continues to say what I want, I also wanted a drink of water. I wanted to have a seat.
Okay.
He did not allow me to do that. And
You couldn't get a drink of water?
I couldn't get a drink of water, Your Honor.
What were you thinking?
Your Honor, in my mind, I thought I was about to die.
Your Honor, I'm a trainer, not a mind reader.
That's fair. That's fair. Did you tell him that I think I'm about to die?
I told him that I needed something to drink. I told him that I was exhausted and I was tired. And I needed a break.
As a trainer, what does that mean to you when someone says, I'm exhausted, I need something to drink? What do you do?
Your Honor, we're in a gym. We're not in a prison. She's not in handcuffs. At any point, she could have went and got a drink of water, or she could have sat down and took a rest. I'm simply just doing my job as a trainer, Your Honor, to push her past her threshold and to be the best trainer that I can. That's what she hired me to do.
Is it uncommon for your clients to stop the exercise and say, hey, I need a break, or I need some water, or anything like that?
No, it's not uncommon, because you know what's going on with your body better than I do. I push you. If they stop, then I'm not gonna pick them up and push them and force them to keep on going. Like, they're gonna take a break.
But you're the trainer. Like, it's been years. Like, I'm depending on your expertise. Like,
So,
I don't
Ms. Baker,
understand.
you are asking this court to award you $40,000 for past medicals.
Yes, sir.
You've got severe injuries, but I want to understand them. So we're going to call Dr. Frida McCrae Fisher to explain what your kidney injury is. So, Sheriff Matt, would you get Dr. McCrae Fisher?
Yes, Your Honor.
Come on in, doctor. Thank you. Doctor, what kind of doctor are you?
I'm a nephrologist, or a kidney doctor. So I deal with kidney injury, kidney failure, dialysis.
Now, Miss Baker suffered from rhabdomyalysis. What is rhabdomyalysis?
If you have rhabdomyalysis, then you have actually ripped your skeletal muscle.
Doctor, why would her urine be brown?
Very good question. Myoglobin, or pigment, seeps out, gets into the bloodstream, actually colors the urine brown, so it can look like a cola or a tea. But in rhabdomyalysis, that myoglobin overwhelms the kidney. You get a backup. And so now the kidneys are not working well. One dangerous complication is hyperkalemia, or when there is too much potassium in the blood. When this happens, it can cause cardiac arrhythmias, or dangerously abnormal heart rhythms. It can even cause the heart to stop.
So you can die from this condition?
You can absolutely die. from rhabdomyalysis.
So had she not gone to the doctor, she could have died from this.
Or she could have had kidney failure and been on dialysis for the rest of her life.
Thank you, doctor. We appreciate you. You are released. You're asking this court to give you $150,000 for pain and suffering. Tell me about what you're going through.
What am I not going through? My whole life has just shifted. I don't get to do things that I was capable of doing with my children. I can't be the wife that I saw from my husband. I wanted to be a certain weight, you know, and now I'm not, I don't even want to go to the gym ever again.
So, Mr. James, how does a trainer stop this from happening?
Had she given me the information that was required, we could have handled things appropriately. If you hadn't told me to do what you told me to do, we wouldn't be here today.
When I went on the website to look for a trainer, I found him, okay? Here's what the problem is.
What's the problem?
He has all of these logos, all of these nice sayings on his website. The man is not even certified.
No, wait a minute now. Tell me why you got those badges on there, Mr. James.
False advertisement.
At the time that she sought me out,
Deceptive.
no, I didn't.
Federation of Personal Training Associates. That sounds like a big deal.
That is a big deal, Your Honor. And at the time, no, I wasn't certified in that particular one, but right now, I am certified in a personal training academy.
Yeah, I was about to pick on that one. You're now certified.
I am now certified and
That's
actually
so
take the
misleading,
test.
But you knew what you were doing.
I knew exactly what I was doing.
Would you have used him if you knew he wasn't a certified trainer?
No, I wouldn't.
Your Honor, now I did some research on my own.
Okay.
I found out that Ashley had same exact injury in her past when she was in college from doing the shock put.
Your Honor.
Now, as a trainer, I know with my trainer, before I started, he had me fill out a thing that basically gave him my history.
Absolutely,
Did
Your
you
Honor.
do that?
I had her fill that information out right along
Your
with her
Honor, that was
waiver,
10
and
years ago.
nowhere on there did she say
10
that she
years
had
ago.
a previous injury or past injuries.
So how did you know that she had this injury?
I found a newspaper clip here, Your Honor, talking in detail about the
Sheriff,
injury.
if you retrieve that for me.
The injury that she had in the past, which is the exact same injury that she has now today, Your Honor.
Your Honor.
Now, Ms. Baker, this isn't your first rodeo with this kind of condition, right?
Your Honor, it was over 10 years ago. I didn't see it relevant.
It says News Today, and it says deltoid tear takes out track star for the season. And then it has a picture. That's you, right?
It is, Your Honor.
You remember this injury?
I do.
Why didn't you tell him about it?
I didn't feel the need to disclose it. It was years ago.
Did this injury lead to rhabdomyalysis?
No, Your Honor, it did not.
If you had known about this before, if she had put it on the form, would it have changed anything that you did?
It would have changed the way that I've pushed her. It would have made me watch her more closely when she said that she was feeling certain pains in her body and her shoulder in that particular area, especially since she can't recover as fast as she did back then.
I think I've heard what I need to hear. I'm ready to render my decision. In every personal injury case, the plaintiff, you, Ms. Baker, must prove that Mr. James's wrong caused your injuries. Here, you put up evidence that showed that he didn't stop you when you were working out, that you thought you had pulled a muscle or had a shoulder injury, but it developed into something life-threatening. The only way that you knew you had a severe injury is when your urine turned brown and then it was a deadly situation. You believe that's his fault because he could have avoided it. Mr. James, you were doing what she asked you to do. You said, you're an athlete, you know your limits. If you want me to push you, that's what I do. Ms. Baker, you chose him partly because of the ad and the body and the titles and the badges. That's why you chose him, because you thought he knew what he was doing. Let me explain the law to you. This is a professional matter. That is, you are the professional. And while you rely on the client, or a doctor relies on the patient to say, here's what I want, here's what I need, ultimately, the responsibility umbrella rests over your head as the professional.
Yes, Your Honor.
As a professional, you're the safety net for the patient, for the client, for the student. Here, I must find you responsible because you are the professional and you made a professional decision to rely on her as to how far you were going to push her. That's something that rests with you. The other thing that kind of tickles me is you put up a website, although you did not say that you were a certified trainer, the implication, the omission prompts people to come to that conclusion. Any kind of misrepresentation of that sort is what you pretend to be, and she had to pay the price for who you pretended to be. Today, you must pay. I'm going to find in your favor, Ms. Baker, for a total award of $200,000. I find in your favor. That's my final verdict, and this matter is adjourned.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Our attorneys across America just viewed this case for the first time. Let's hear what Gary Martin Hayes has to say.
In my experience, when you hire someone like a personal trainer to work with you, you rely upon their knowledge and expertise to help you achieve your goals. The defendant presented himself as an expert, certified trainer, and he also put certification he didn't really have on his marketing material. This was fraudulent and deceitful on his part, and the plaintiff, to her detriment, relied on his expert status.
Thank you.
This is Personal Injury Court.
Good day, everyone. This is the matter of Stewart versus Miller. Ms. Stewart, it's my understanding that you are suing Mr. Miller for severe injuries that you sustained when he shot off a bottle rocket and caused you to get hurt. And you had to put your dog in the pound. You're asking this court to award you $18,000 for your medical expenses, $10,000 for lost wages, $300 for getting your dog out of the pound, and $60,000 for pain and suffering, for a total award of $88,300. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Miller, you are saying this is her fault. It's 4th of July. You're coming through, there are bottle rockets. She's responsible for her own injuries, true?
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, let's get into the legal sauce. Ms. Stewart, 4th of July, how do you get there?
Well, Your Honor, I'm a web designer. I work around 60 hours a week from home. And I mean, I know that sounds like a lot, but I'm the first person to graduate college in my family, so it's kind of a big deal, you know? They really count on me to help them out financially when I can. And, you know, I ditched my car and I got me an electric bike so I could get out more on the weekends with my dog and just be more active.
Now, you take your dog with you on your bike?
He loves it.
Mr. Miller, July 4th, how do y'all meet? How do you get there?
Well, first off, I'm a college student. I'm actually getting my degree in chemical engineering. I am currently involved in a lot of community services. I build houses during the summer. So I love to hang out with my friends on the weekends, especially on 4th of July, where we get all of our friends and families together, and we just have a good time, Your Honor.
Okay, so this is kind of an annual thing you get together with your family and friends.
Yes.
Now, how do fireworks get into it?
I understand fireworks.
Okay.
I have used them every single year at every 4th of July, especially bottle rockets.
So you're the bottle rocket guy.
That's right.
Yeah, and he put my life in danger, setting off his bottle rocket, Your Honor.
So what happened?
I was going home to get back to work. Nice, you know, nice normal night like I always do, and I feel this heat on the right side of my face. I mean, it smelt like fire, and it felt like fire.
Okay.
My dog was going crazy, as if to alert me that, hey, we're both in danger here. So as far as I'm concerned, there was a torpedo coming at my face.
Okay.
So I turned my bike to dodge this bottle rocket, but instead I hit a car. And when I say I hit that pavement hard, it felt like a bus had ran into me, Your Honor.
So this bottle rocket almost hit you in the face?
In the face, Your Honor. So I wake up in the hospital with a splitting headache. I can barely think straight. I'm just convinced that every bone in my body is broken, Your Honor.
You submitted a video. This video is not of the bottle rocket that almost hit your head.
This is a demonstration to show how explosive they can be. This could have been me, Your Honor.
All right, let's look at it.
Coming at my face, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Miller, is that how those things... I know they're not supposed to hit a house, right?
That is completely mishandled, Your Honor.
Okay, but that's how they travel. They are like little torpedoes or rockets.
They can be, but you're supposed to shoot them up in the air, Your Honor.
So how does it go past her head unless she's skydiving?
I remember it going straight up in the air.
Well, when did you know that something bad had happened?
I heard this sound, probably exactly like that one when it hit that building. It sounded just like that, and then I heard Her dog barking as well. We asked if she was okay, but she was unconscious. I called the ambulance.
You would know because you let it off on the street. Like,
But
you can't
I have
Your Honor,
permission
he
to
let
be
off
there.
a bottle rocket near the street.
Why are you interrupting me?
Because you're paying your...
I'm going to do that all day as y'all get to talk to each other. The fireworks have already happened. They're not going to be in this courtroom today, okay? Well, why would she know that a bottle rocket's going to fly past her head?
Well, I think that she caused her own crash, Your Honor.
How's that? How do you say that?
She had a barking dog in the basket with her that could have completely been distracting
Your
her.
Honor, there was a...
You did have your dog with you, right? What is your dog is Buttons?
Buttons. Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's Buttons?
Yeah.
He's a Frenchie.
Yeah.
And you took him with you that night?
Yeah, we go together all the time.
Now, when this bottle went past you, he also was startled?
He was alerting me. I mean, I knew it was going on, Your Honor, but he was startled as well.
He was barking the entire time I had
It doesn't matter. There was a torpedo coming
Well, hold
at
on.
my head.
Dogs bark,
An
right?
explosive
Yes.
torpedo.
Right?
He was completely out of control, which could have caused the distraction, Your
Oh,
Honor.
so you think that maybe Miss Stewart crashed into that car because her dog was out of control?
Had I not reacted, your bottle rocket could have hit me in the face.
I made sure you got to the hospital.
Mr. Miller, let's talk about your bottle rocket. Those things are moving fast. You saw that video, right? This thing is a rocket. That's why they call it that.
Exactly.
I mean, that went by her head. Mm-hmm. Okay, what's the first thing on your mind when you open your eyes in the hospital?
I mean, how did I get here is the first thing on my mind. I just know that I was in pain. Like, so much pain, I can't even describe it to you. The doctors had me on every medication now to alleviate the pain, and it doesn't really help. My life was turned upside down by this accident. Like, I can't work right now.
It was
I
an
can't
accident.
hike.
That's the thing. It was an accident.
Excuse me,
Just
you're
an act
negligent.
of God, or
It is just a fact of nature that accidents happen all the time.
And I could have died.
so these forces come together. A bottle rocket goes off. It's no one's fault. She hits the car. It's no one's fault. She ends up in the hospital. It's no one's fault. And this is all just a nullity.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Well, Miss Stewart, you have $18,000 in medical expenses. Tell me about your injuries.
Your Honor, I have a broken arm, as you can see, and I'm right-handed. So imagine trying to do daily activities and your dominant hand is, messed up now.
And this is an X-ray of your right hand.
I can't even look at it. Like, it's
That is
it's
a
trigger for me at this
nasty
point.
break. So you had to have surgery to get that put back together.
Yes. The physical pain is here, but mentally, this is really destroying me. I am working through some things because this is affecting my livelihood.
And
This
it's
is
not affecting
my family.
mine. I'm a college student, and you're suing me for $88,000.
And you do this on a regular basis.
Strike two. Talk to me. Now, you do see, don't you, Mr. Miller, that this wasn't a paper cut.
Absolutely.
These are very, very severe injuries.
Absolutely.
And you surely didn't want this to happen,
No,
right?
absolutely not.
Have you ever had a situation in the past where you're shooting off these bottle rockets and someone gets hurt? Set the stage for me. What was this like, this block party?
Well, I invite multiple people, and they bring their entire family every single year because it's a great event.
So food and drinks and music?
Yes.
Now, in my neighborhood at Halloween, they block it off on each end.
That's right.
So people can't drive through.
That's right.
Is that what y'all did?
That's right. We blocked off the street where no vehicles allowed, not even a electric bike.
Now, Miss Stewart, you're on an electric bike, right?
Your Honor, I was on an electric bike.
Okay.
I take that route home every day.
Did you see that this part of the street was blocked off? That they had
Your Honor,
a session
I saw a
going?
bottle rocket coming for my face.
But answer
that's
the
what I
question.
saw, Your Honor.
Well, but did you see that it was blocked off?
No, Your Honor, I did not see that. I take that route home every day.
Well, both y'all knew it was 4th of July, right? You had to know that, right? So, Mr. Miller, did you have security out there that night?
No extra security, Your Honor. We just have people that are willing to watch the kids, including myself, and everybody else is putting their own part in making sure that there is complete safety at our block party.
Now, Mr. Miller, this court has taken the extra precaution of consulting a pyrotechnic expert, and we're going to hear from that expert. It's Jeff Brandenburg. So, Sheriff Matt, would you get Mr. Brandenburg?
Yes, Your Honor.
Come on in, sir. Mr. Brandenburg, state your name for the record.
Jeff Brandenburg.
And tell me what your credentials are.
I'm Vice President of North Central Industries, and we are importers and wholesalers of consumer fireworks. and I've personally been in the industry for 29 years.
What's your safety advice to the consumer that wants to use fireworks on a holiday like the 4th of July?
Well, fireworks can be perfectly safe. You got to follow all instructions on the packages and use common sense.
How does a bottle rocket work?
Bottle rocket is a cylinder firework item with some combustible materials. It's attached to a stick. There is a small firecracker attached to the stick would be the best way to describe it.
It sounds like they can be dangerous.
They can be if they are not used correctly.
What's the safe thing to do?
Well, you certainly do not want to launch them near homes, trees, dry brush, not in a high wind environment. You do not want to launch them straight into the air. And again, certainly not at any individual or person.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
You may step down. Thank you. Ms. Stewart, you've heard the rules in terms of how to use these bottle rockets safely. Your contention is that Mr. Miller broke those rules.
He did, and Your Honor, this is not his first time at the rodeo. I was actually online, and there is a video of him pitching these bottle rockets to someone as if it's a game of baseball. He doesn't take this seriously.
Where did you find such a video?
It was online.
Well, I guess the truth lives in the internet, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, and he left it on there. He's probably proud about it.
I cannot believe
It's
this.
not serious to him.
Okay, well, let's take a peek at it. So Mr. Miller's not in this. He's the one pitching.
Yes.
That's your friend, Mr. Miller?
And that was coming from my face.
You found that on the internet. Now, Mr. Miller, you've been telling me all day about safety. Talk to me, brother. Tell me how that is safe.
It's very unfortunate to see something that happened when I was a freshman in high school, 8 years ago.
So that's before you knew that these things were dangerous, or
Yes.
before you knew what to do to be safe?
This was something, when I was a kid, I had honestly just gotten to high school. I was so about being viral on social media. I wanted all the attention.
You see what happened to your friend, though,
Exactly.
Your Honor, he didn't take it serious then, and he didn't take it serious now.
I take it
mean, if he
serious.
really took safety serious, would I be here like this?
Well, we do see, though, right, that you got a beard now. You ain't just right out of high school.
Exactly.
Frankly, the law requires everybody, whether an electric bike rider or a bottle rocket guy, everybody's got to use common sense. Common sense.
If I didn't care, I wouldn't
You
be
are
here.
an imbecile, for crying out loud. You put my life in danger. You put children's lives
Ms.
in danger.
Stewart, just like I won't let him call you
I'm
names,
sorry, Your
you
Honor.
can't call him names.
I do apologize.
I get to call the names, and I don't do that. I know
Honor.
that you're hurt badly, and you're in a lot of distress, but we have a certain decorum in this
and
room.
I respect that,
Your
Your
Honor.
Honor.
My job is not simply to focus on how badly you're hurt. I've got to figure out if he's legally responsible for your injuries. You see that?
And
I
Your Honor,
understand.
Okay.
if I may speak,
yes, you may.
this is something that happened a long time ago. And the fact that she is bringing it up now, after as much learning as I have done, and as much growing as I have done as a human being, as an individual who is about to graduate college, I think I am perfectly capable of making the right decisions.
Well,
and
I know
that wasn't the right
would've hit you in
decision.
the face.
I get that, because 100 years ago, I was a young man, okay? But we all are accountable for our own behavior, right? And I've got to take that into consideration, even though it happened a long time ago. People grow.
You can see the levels she's stooping to because
Levels?
she doesn't have anything
What
to
levels
go
am I
off
stooping
of.
to? You think I
she
wanna
wants
be here
someone to
injured?
pay for her bills, and I can't do it.
Do you think I want to be
I
out of
can't
work
do
and
it.
injured
Folks.
because of you?
I understand that the burden in this case may be shared. Clearly, she has a burden. Clearly, you have a burden. It's not fun
It
to
was
get
an
sued.
accident.
I understand.
It was your accident 'cause you lack common
But
sense.
the
You
law
did not-
requires
You
me to
didn't
figure
know
out
where you
whose
were
fault it
going.
is. Folks, I'm not going to talk to both of y'all while you talk to each other. Don't make me be mean. I already look like I got out of prison. I don't need to be mean. Okay? Talk to me. I think I've heard enough, folks. I'm ready to render my ruling. Folks, in every personal injury case, the plaintiff, you, Ms. Stewart, have to prove three things. You've got to prove that Mr. Miller was wrong first, and that his wrong caused your harm. Clearly, you were harmed. Here, you've put up evidence, strong evidence, that he was engaging in an activity that is very, very dangerous. 4th of July or not. You were riding through with your dog, trying to get to where you're going, did not know he was going to be firing off these rockets that almost hit you in the face, but certainly caused you to be startled, hit the car, and have these terrible injuries. You're asking this court for a lot of money, for $88,300, and you think it's his responsibility. Here, Mr. Miller, you believe she shouldn't have come in because it was a closed-off street. She could see it's a 4th of July party. And you believe she's startled either by her dog or by the rocket, but not your fault. There are two legal principles that apply here. One is it's the 4th of July. It's open and obvious that people do bottle rockets and things that are loud and startling. The second legal principle is assumption of risk. You assume the risk of someone getting hurt if you fire this bottle off. You assume the risk of being startled if you go into a closed 4th of July block party where they're shooting off fireworks. Here, I find that you have not proven that Mr. Miller actually did something wrong. The fact that it almost hit you doesn't indicate that he did something wrong. Secondly, I believe you assumed the risk of being startled. Because you assume the risk, the law requires me, despite your injuries, to rule for the defendant and against the plaintiff. That's my final ruling, and this matter is adjourned. Our attorneys across America just viewed this case for the first time. Let's hear what Chad Dudley has to say.
For a lot of us, it is not a true 4th of July celebration without fireworks. They are beautiful to watch. But did you know more than 9,000 people are treated each year for firework-related injuries? This case is a great reminder to all of us to exercise caution when using fireworks. These are essentially mini explosions. Know the dangers and follow the rules to prevent injuries to yourself and to others.